Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nasir, and what do we have on tap for today? Well, it's another one of those video clips, folks. It's the debate between Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, who we affectionately like to call the Young Jerks, and Dinesh D'Souza. That's about an hour and a half long, but we put it down into short little video clips of about, 10, 15 minutes each. This is part 6 of the debate. Let's get to it right now.
I think we're getting to the heart of the issue here, so if you don't mind, let's engage a little bit about it, okay?
Oh, I love it, yeah. Let's.
All right.
Let me just add one thing where I think you both agree on, which is the Republican Party used to be the progressive party in America. I don't think that's a secret. I mean, that's...
Well, the Republican Party was the champion of emancipation, anti-segregation, anti-lynching laws, and so on. Right. I want to talk about the civil rights.
So you liked them when they were progressive?
No, I wouldn't say that's progressive because, no.
I'm pretty sure that's progressive.
No. The progressives of the time were into social engineering, eugenics, forced sterilization. So this is a disguise. The progressives later claimed the mantle. All right.
And freeing the slaves, just as an FYI.
The progressives freed the slaves.
Progressives wanted to free the slaves. They were in the Republican Party. Yes.
No, they were not. The term progressive was invented in the 20th century.
Conservatives liked the way things are. They wanted to keep their tradition and
so was Abraham Lincoln a Republican?
He was a Republican and a progressive. I know it's hard for you to understand.
Yeah.
The parties switched. That's what he's asking you. No one else in the country disputes that other than you.
No, I do dispute it. Let me ask you this question. You mentioned the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Did more Republicans in proportion or more Democrats vote for the Civil Rights Act of 1964? Answer yes, which one? Which party voted in greater proportion for the Civil Rights Act of 1964?
Great, let's do it.
Which one?
All right.
Do you know?
So I believe that the guy who pushed for the Civil Rights Act was a guy named Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was most clearly a Democrat. And at that point, the Democratic Party had a lot of racist conservatives in it. It's true. What led to the transition was the 1964 Civil Rights Act, where those Democratic racists decided, man, I love the Republican Party. I think I should go there. And for you to say at that moment in history, that's the whole point, Dinesh.
Okay.
That's when they switched.
All right.
That's when all the racists went to your party.
Okay. Yeah. So I take it that this is a backhanded admission that far more Republicans proportionally voted for the Civil Rights Act than Democrats, right? Okay, you admit it. You try to camouflage it, but you admit it. Now, you say that that's when they switched.
Point takedown goes to Dinesh over Cenk Uygur. I mean, Cenk is just absolutely getting crushed. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Dinesh has done, an unbelievable amount of background historical context into how the big switch was there, the big lie, who was what parties, what did they stand for at the time. Cenk, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're gonna get crushed here, dude.
So let me ask you this. We had the Voting Rights Act in 1965 and the Fair Housing Bill in 1968. Let's take the Fair Housing Bill. Did more Republicans or more Democrats proportionally vote for the Fair Housing Bill? Which one?
So, Dinesh, let me try to, again, let's try this one more time. So, Republicans were more progressive. They were the progressive party. So they would push for things that were progressive until those events in that exact time period, Dinesh. And then a lot of them thought under Nixon, and he wasn't president yet. And when he ran, he said, hey, I got a great idea. Let's get all those racist Democrats to join the Republican Party. Let's run on racism. And you know what they did? They then went on a campaign through Nixon to bring all the racists in the Republican Party, which I'm not admitting. The head of the Republican National Committee, 2 different heads of it, came out and gave a speech and said, yes, we transitioned into racists, and that was our strategy.
Really?
You to try to deny that is insanity.
Is it really? Let me ask you
this. You think the Democrats are more racist now? By the way,
let
me give you one piece of context. I got to give you context.
I just want to
Dinesh,
show.
who wrote a book saying that slavery wasn't about race in this country. You wrote a book where you said black people should give white people reparations for liberating them.
No, I did say that slavery in America did not start out in racial terms. The people tried to enslave the American Indians, lots of blacks owned slaves. So this is part of the real complexity of our history. But I noticed that when we're talking, you raised...
Racism was a real mixed bag. I remember all those white folks being owned by black people. See, that's exactly what I'm going to.
The black slave owners own black slaves.
On purpose, Dinesh. You do it on purpose. You say, for a while we tried to enslave the Native Americans, so we'll say that slavery wasn't about racism. Do you see how that you're obviously misdirecting people, and you're doing it on purpose? It's not like white people were slaves. The overwhelming majority of slavery was black people enslaved. Why can't you admit the most obvious things? Because you have a political agenda.
No, it's
and
because...
what you want to do is support Republicans and their current-day racism.
No. I notice that every time I try to pin you down, you try to switch the topic or reframe the vocabulary, okay? Now, hold on.
Boom! Another point, take down Dinesh. That's exactly what he's doing. All he keeps going back forth and saying, you know what? You don't understand what I'm saying, Dinesh. Try to comprehend my illogic, my fallacies, my untruths. Try to understand that, because I'm just going to try to slam that down your throat, because I know you're making valid points and I can't counteract that. So I just have to just throw all this stuff at you and basically say, oh, you know what? Yeah, more blacks were enslaved than Indians. How many white people were enslaved? I mean, of course we know that thing. Unbelievable. And then Dinesh just comes out and basically says, okay, tell me this. Give me the answer, right? How many people Republicans voted for the Civil Rights Act, for the Fair Housing Act, for the voting? How many Republicans did? How many Democrats? Didn't get an answer from Cenk the Jenk, did we? No, we just got this, around the bend answer coming across. Let's see Dinesh go after him one more time.
Hold on. You
said the guy who earlier in the debate said, now let's pivot.
you mentioned Nixon, right? Nixon's Southern strategy based on open appeals to racism. Let me ask you this. In 1968, who won the Deep South?
So, look, I get it.
You don't know.
No, I get it. No.
Another point. Take down Dinesh. Whenever Cenk starts, it's like starting up a Studebaker. Unbelievable.
Do you know?
His whole shtick is, during the transition, when we were trying to get the racists, we didn't have them all.
Transition. You said it started in 64, and you said Nixon was the epitome of it. Nixon was elected in 68, and I'm asking you, who won the Deep South, and you have no idea.
The Democrats owned the Deep South
for decades
and decades.
Okay.
They lost the South because Nixon began that campaign of the Southern strategy, and Pat Buchanan on MSNBC admitted to me, yes, we ran it for 40 years and we had a good ride. So, for you to take the point where they started and go, they weren't completely and utterly racist yet because their mission had not yet been accomplished, is not a winning argument.
So I'm a little confused. I just need to ask something. So you're basically arguing that a lot of Republicans, as well as some Democrats, supported the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. So was that a good thing or a bad thing for them to do?
I'm saying it's a very good thing. What I'm getting at is this. Progressive historiography has claimed for the left and for the Democratic Party credit for a civil rights movement in the 60s that was actually done largely by the Republican Party. If the Democratic Party had been the only party in America, none of these laws would have passed. Now, you don't find that in your textbooks. You don't find your professors telling you this. You won't hear about this on the Young Turks. Why? Because they're now doing cover-up for the progressives.
It is purposely misleading. That's why...
Oh, another takedown for Dinesh. Another point this time. I mean, you know what? Cenk is trying to do stuff up there, but you know what? Even the people in the crowd are like going, come on, Cenk. What are you talking about?
You don't say it because it's purposely misleading. Is the grass green? Oh, sometimes it's yellow. Got you.
No.
All right, so do you think that black people should give white people reparations?
No.
Okay, how about that? What you wrote in your book about, hey, they should be so happy about being liberated, they should give white people money.
That's
You
not
wrote
what
that.
I said. That's not what I said. Let me tell you what I did say. And this is why, actually, we're having a debate with politics and entertainment, but we can't get to these issues if we don't frame the other person's argument fairly. In my movies, in the America film, I brought on leading leftists, Michael Eric Dyson and others, and I let them make their case. And later, after the movie, I saw him. I go, Michael, did I portray you fairly in the movie? And he goes, you're not Michael Moore. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So I'm trying to frame the argument of the left the way they would put it. But you're not doing that.
Good point here from Dinesh. He's given equal weight to equal sides, and he's bringing those on. I would like to see the Young Turks, the Young Turks, and I would like to see Cenk the Cenk do exactly the same thing. Can he? No. And exactly what he's saying is that if you're going to start an argument, we're going to start a debate, frame the other side correctly. I don't see Dinesh misframing Cenk the Cenk's words, but you certainly see Cenk the Cenk. How many times has he said, you said reparations, and Dinesh goes, I never said that. I never said white people, black people, white people, oh black people. I mean black people, oh white people. I never said that. Let me tell you what I said. And that's what basically got off on this, in this part of the discussion.
You're basically picking a line here, you don't even have a quote, but you're just throwing it out there, relying on your guys to go wild, and that's not really a debate.
There it is, right? Who could have said it better than Dinesh himself? Anyways, folks, I'm going to end it here. Part 6, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. In this one here, I clearly think in this round, Dinesh certainly was on offense, certainly was putting out the facts, certainly was asking Cenk to answer these questions. And Cenk was basically what? It was like, in Star Wars, Star Trek, right? Deflectors up. Deflectors up. Don't let the incoming, photon and phasers, hit me. Let's go around to the port side. Let's go around to the other side. I mean, he was doing everything that he can do in terms of deflecting every single shot that Dinesh was taking him. He didn't answer a single question, Dinesh. He basically took words and misconstrued on purpose. All right? I think it was on purpose to basically take Dinesh's points and just literally, rip them apart in terms of, jumbling them up and then spitting them back at him. And Dinesh is going, that's not even my point. I never even said that. I never even put that in my book. You can't even get a quote out of what you're basically trying to, accuse me of. So this one definitely goes to, Dinesh. We appreciate you taking the time to watch, folks. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasir. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. Put down the comments below. Let me know what you think. You think I was right? Do you think Dinesh won that round, or was it Cenk the Cenk? Anyways, folks, my final thought is when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.